everybody. It's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here with another pretty short product review. Today we're going to be talking about the FirstLite Corrugate Foundry Pant. We're going to dive into all the new aspects that are offered in this pant, kind of compare them to the original guide pant, and then at the end we'll talk a little bit about the cons of this pant. Not really cons, but what to expect if you are going to buy these. And we'll kind of compare and contrast midway through the video of this pant versus the original Corrugate guide, which I have a pair of both. Try to keep it nice, short, and sweet for y'all. And so let's go ahead, dive into it, talk about all the new stuff that's offered in the Foundry pant, and we'll go from there. All right, so to start off, just take a look at these. Just from eye view, without diving too much into it, you can kind of tell just with the naked eye, there are definitely some more zippers and pockets on these compared to the original Corrugate pants. These also have the hip vents that allow open access, allow you to dump heat, especially if you're out hiking around up in the mountains, and you're trying to stay cool but not sweat, and you need to dump some heat off your legs. Also too, it gives you access if you have zip off long johns on underneath. You have access to those without having to take your boots off, without having to take your pants off, to take the long johns off, to get down to your compression shorts or boxers or whatever you got on. So I have found those as a plus. They are on both sides of the leg. They go all the way down to the knee from the hip, which does create a beautiful breezeway. If you are like me, my legs for the most part stay pretty warm. So this is real nice for us warm-bodied folks to be able to dump that heat off. Also too, in the knees and in the seat, you can kind of see in the stitching from where it is around the seat, kind of stops down here. The seat and the knee areas are treated with a double layer waterproofing. So it makes it easier to keep your ass dry when you're sitting, in the snow or it's raining, whatever. And just keeps you a lot drier. Also too, there are two rear pockets on these. There's also two thigh pockets, but in each pocket there is the open non-zippered area on both sides that you can just stick your hand straight in for easy access. If you're bow hunting, you need to stay quiet, you don't want to be messing with zippers. You can stick your rangefinder, stick whatever you want in those little front pockets. But also too, there is a zipper on the outside for smaller things, chapstick, whatever it is you got going on. Let's see. So to me, one of the cons that we'll talk about later is the waist. So you can see here that it does not have the same stretchy waistband like the Corrugate guide pants do. They're tailored more for like a jean fit. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in the video when we talk about like the cons. Also too, they come with knee pads, removable knee pads. They slide right in. Take these out before washing your pants or drying them because they will get messed up. But I have found that the knee pad, it comes in handy more than we probably normally think about it. When you kind of look at the pants with the knee pads in it, at first I thought it's kind of stupid. What do you need knee pads for? But for the amount of times, when out hunting, you're kneeling on something, crouching, crawling through low brush, whatever. Instead of banging your kneecaps up on rocks and all that stuff, it kind of gives you just that extra cushion, that extra comfort. Maybe you're shooting, from a knelt position or, you know, like I said, just kind of crawling around, you know, bending down, whatever. Also, too, the pant is slightly heavier. The material is, I don't know if they just use a thicker material for these versus the guides, but in my personal opinion, I like the heavier material versus the thinner material that the guides are made of, because it keeps me a little bit warmer. It keeps my legs a little bit warmer. I don't have to worry about wearing long johns all the time, especially here in Texas where it doesn't get tremendously cold. So the material on these compared to the guides is definitely thicker. They're heavier, but also, in my opinion, you're going to stay a little bit warmer from the waist down with these. Having used the Catalyst Foundry or the Obsidian Foundry, I don't really see a use for them in my collection. As like I said, it doesn't get tremendously cold here in Texas, and when I do go out west or to other states and hunt, you know, majority of the time we're super active hiking around, stuff like that. So my body stays pretty warm. They do come with, so you can see here that they have 2 suspender loops on the hips versus the old original where they were in the front and then one in the center and the rear. I always felt like I was getting a wedgie wearing the guides because of that single point right there on your butt crack. You're just kind of pulling those pants up. So the pants do come with the knee pads and they come with the new suspenders. First, I didn't know how I'd like these, but they've definitely grown on me. They just kind of fit around your arms like the leather, you know, concealable holsters you see in the old cop movies. Super comfortable. I do like that the suspender points are on the hips versus in the front and one in the back. So that was a plus for me. Overall, they perform well. Haven't ripped them. I've walked through a lot of mesquite with these, a lot of cedar. They hold tremendously. I've gotten blood all over them, and as you can tell, they look, for the most part, pretty stinking clean. So the washing machine is definitely your friend. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the gist of it. The bottom part of the pant is a little bit thinner, kind of reminds me of the guide material, and it is stretchy compared to up here where there's only a little bit of stretch on the back side of the thigh, which does give you a little bit more wiggle room when you're getting into them and moving around instead of having just that firm jean feeling like you do up around the waist. But that's pretty much all the new specs with the Foundry pant. So let's compare and contrast these and the guides. All right, so these are the guide pants, and I did make a mistake. The guides, I haven't worn them in so long. So they did have double pockets, same kind of setup, you know, shoot your hand straight in with a zipper pocket on top. But with the guides, they are on the sides of your thigh versus on the top. And they also only had one rear pocket. And as you can see here, the 3 suspender points, the 1 in the rear, 2 in the front. Didn't really care for that too much. Like I said, they kept riding up. But if you compare the material, these pants are significantly heavier, and the material is thicker versus this. These, to me, were a lot noisier as well compared to the Foundries. These are thinner. In my opinion, these would be better for, you know, extremely warm weather. You know, you're busting around. Versus these, where I would get pretty hot in warmer weather. But the biggest comparison, in my opinion, is the waistband. So as you can see here on the Corrugate guides, they had these stretchy points on the waistband to allow, you know, just a little bit more wiggle room in the waist. It didn't feel so constricted. It wasn't so much like jeans. whereas the foundries do not. And so that's my biggest con with these pants, and that really isn't talked about a whole lot, is they tell you, oh, you know, it's true to your jean size. I personally sized up, so I normally wear between a 34, 35 waist, and I went with a 36, and they fit perfect. There's enough, you know, space in the hips that I can layer, you know, still wear some long johns, but also too, I can rely on the suspenders to just kind of carry that extra slack. They're not baggy on me, but I like that extra room, like I had in the waist with these. Whereas these have the, you know, the double layer seat, and these do not. These also do not have the hip vents, and so on and so forth, all the other perks that we talked about with the foundry. So those were the major comparisons in my opinion, between the two pants. And really the cons with the foundry is the sizing. Sizing is not talked about enough online. I know everybody loves to say like, oh yeah, man, these fit me great, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know, they may have just gotten lucky. They may have read other forums about the sizing issues. Also too, when you order these online, and I'll put a little video like I always do off to the side of their website. The Corrugate guide pants came in your standard small, medium, large, and then they had the size guide where you went in, you know, picked out your numbers and then decided which size was best for you. Whereas the foundries, you buy them like pants. 36, 35 for me. I do recommend kind of sizing back on the length for yourself. Whereas in my opinion, they ran a little long. But it's okay because they kind of stack on your boot when you wear them. Because when I first put them on, I didn't have any shoes on. I was like, damn, these are long. So if you have a sizing issue, or you're like between length sizes, I would say size back to get away from that extra, you know, if you don't particularly like a whole bunch of buildup or stack, as they call it, on top of your boots, then you would want to size back. That's really all I got on the Corrugate Foundry. To me, compared to the guides, it's a whole different realm. They're basically bulletproof. You know, I've heard things about the Obsidians, and again, I know they're late season, not busting pants, whatever. I wanted a pant that I know was not going to rip, was not going to tear, snag on anything like that I could use year round and get the most use out of. So these are the pants that I went with. If anyone out there, if you're looking, you know, can't decide, spend the extra cash, get you the foundries, you'll be able to use them year round. They should never, you know, rip or snag or tear or anything like that. And if they do, then I want to know what you were doing to cause that. But yeah, so these are the Corrugate Foundries. You can check them out. I'll put them over here. And, you know, you can see for yourself. Or you can go watch, you know, other YouTube video comparisons and see what, you know, best fits your hunting style. Yeah, we got the heater on. It's like 28 outside here in Texas. Well, that's it. That's the whole video. Short and sweet, like I said. You know, pretty much all the information about the new, you know, a year or so old now, but they're, you know, whatever. They're their newest pant. All the information I have on them, you know, personal input about them, stuff like that. If you're interested, their warranty department and return department is fantastic. If you buy them, they don't fit, leave the tags on them. You can send them back and they'll ship you out the right size, or if you need to, you know, exchange sizes, whatever. But that's pretty much the video, y'all. If you like the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. It helps support the page, helps the algorithm, which, you know, most of us outdoorsmen know have been struggling on this platform and on Instagram with algorithms. So if you like the video, like I said, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, because also too, that helps build the channel. And I'm shooting for maybe monetization by the end of this year. Fingers crossed. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, I'll put it over here. You can always check me out. I'm way more active on Instagram, and I've been trying to put out more videos on YouTube pretty regularly. So I will be putting out some more content with product reviews. Most of it here in the near future is going to be some FirstLite stuff, but it's what I know best, and it's what I use pretty much on a daily basis. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment. I'll see y'all later. Let's get into the video. It's not going to be a long one. Let's check out the... God damn it. Words are hard.